What's going on, APUSHers? Video number 30 for you. This one is on the Mexican-American War. We talked briefly about it in the last video, but we're going to go a little more in depth in this one. Before we begin, I got to give a shout out to Mrs. McDougal's class in Santa Cruz, California. Best of luck. Thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. So events leading to the war. We have the election of 1844 and Henry Clay, who is a Whig, versus James K. Polk, who is a Democrat. Polk is going to embrace manifest destiny and the annexation of Texas, while Henry Clay is not as gung-ho about it, and James K. Polk is going to win this very close election. If you look here, here's the electoral map of the United States at the time. Henry Clay is in yellow and James K. Polk is in blue. Now, before the war happens, there's something called the Slidell Mission, in which James K. Polk sends a gentleman by the name of Slidell to Mexico to purchase California and settle the boundary dispute along the Texas border. So he goes to Mexico and says, listen, we want to purchase California. Mexico says no. On April 25th, 1846, Mexico attacks U.S. troops on U.S. soil, but that's on the boundary disputed area between the Nueces and Rio Grande rivers. And there is a famous person in Congress, or somebody who will become famous, who introduces something known as spot resolutions because he wants to know the exact spot that Americans were attacked. And that person is Abraham Lincoln in his very first term in Congress. So there's an important battle you should know during the war. It is the Battle of Buena Vista, and this allows Zachary Taylor, the general, to become a hero, a war hero, and then eventually president in 1848. Also at this battle, Henry Clay's son is killed in fighting. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo ends the Mexican-American War, and the U.S. gained California and modern-day New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, and Nevada, which makes up half of the Mexican territory. So all this area up here is what the U.S. is going to gain as a result of the Mexican cession. Not this area, not this little bit of land. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. The U.S. is going to pay Mexico $15 million for that land. Now, some effects of the war. America is going to increase its size by 1/3, and future leaders will emerge. People like Zachary Taylor, Ulysses S. Grant, pictured here, and then Robert E. Lee, who will play a huge role in the Civil War. There will be debates over slavery. As I mentioned in the last video, the number one thing to take away from Manifest Destiny and U.S. expansion is, will this land be free or slave? The Wilmot Proviso proposed that all land would be free, and this started a lot of controversy in Congress. We'll take a look at the text of the Wilmot Proviso in just a minute. Now, the Compromise of 1850 is also dealing with the issue of slavery. We'll talk about that more in 2 videos, I believe. So the Wilmot Proviso, introduced by David Wilmot, pictured here, says, provided that, as an express and fundamental condition to the acquisition of any territory from the Republic of Mexico by the United States, by virtue of any treaty which may be negotiated between them, and to the use by the executive of the monies herein appropriated, here's where it gets really important, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude shall ever exist in any part of said territory. So he wants slavery and indentured servitude to be outlawed, except for crime whereof the party shall first be duly convicted. And this will cause a lot of controversy in Congress. It's actually going to pass in the House, but not the Senate. So this does not become law, but this is showing the tensions in Congress over the expansion of slavery. All right, the Gadsden Purchase. This was the territory of land, that little bit that I talked about a few minutes ago, below the Mexican cession, and it is outlined here in yellow. So the U.S. is going to purchase this territory below the Mexican cession from Mexico in 1852. And they want to do this in hopes of building a railroad. The terrain is much more favorable down here than it is above. So the U.S. wanted to build a transcontinental railroad. If you want more info about this and some of the funniest 5 minutes you'll ever see, please go to YouTube and type in Jimmy Fallon's Gadsden Purchase. And they explain the Gadsden Purchase and the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo there. It's fantastic. You will laugh. You'll love it. All right, quick recap. The election of 1844, know who it was between and what their positions were. Slidell Mission sought to buy California, but Mexico said no. Spot resolutions introduced by Abe Lincoln. In the Effects of the War, No Debates Over Slavery. This is a great essay topic, and if you throw in the Wilmot Proviso and that essay topic, it will just impress the readers. And make sure you are familiar with said proviso. And finally, the Gadsden Purchase. With that, the U.S. boundaries in continental America that we have today are finalized. All right, guys, look forward to see you back here for video number 31. It is on nativism in the U.S. in the 1840s and 1850s. Thanks for watching. Best of luck this year, and have a good day.